Hello and welcome to the Wilderness of Creativity, a platform for creatives to share their stories of survival. This isn't a show about going viral, optimizing your output, or trending your way to success. With the help of my guests, we explore what it actually means to take the road less travelled. The uncertainty, the messiness, the vulnerability, and the courage to move away from the expectations that perhaps no longer seem fit for purpose. Creativity shows up in everything that we do. It's how we form and sustain our friendships and intimate relationships. It's how we work and communicate, how we parent, love, and our deepest desires. If you are quietly questioning the path that you're on or feel a little lost in the wilderness, welcome. You can subscribe to the podcast on your favourite platform, and you can also find us over on YouTube and Substack. Right, let's get to the episode. Hello and welcome to the Wilderness of Creativity, a platform for creatives to share their stories of survival. I'm your host Lucy, and today is just a very quick, short solo episode because I wanted to share something exciting that I've been working on behind the scenes. I've recently launched a brand new podcast called In the Wrong Room. Now, you might be wondering why I've decided to start another podcast when life is already busy enough. The answer is quite simple. Over the last 2 years here in the wilderness, I've had the privilege of speaking to so many different people. We've explored creativity, identity, well-being, careers, community, and what it means to take the road less travelled. But increasingly, I have felt that there were actually two conversations happening. One conversation was about creativity in the broadest sense, how creativity helps us make sense of our lives as a means of survival. And the other conversation was much more specifically about creativity in education. And while those two worlds absolutely overlap for me, I realised I was trying to wear two different hats at the same time. My creative work informs my education work, and my education work informs my creativity. So that's where In the Wrong Room comes in. The podcast is specifically designed for secondary trained teachers who find themselves working in primary schools or EYFS settings. If you've ever walked into a primary classroom and thought, I know how to teach, but I have absolutely no idea where to start here, then In the Wrong Room is for you. The title comes from a feeling that I've had for well over a year. And I suppose when I used to say it to Carl, I'd be saying, I'm in the wrong room. I want to be sharing all of my knowledge and my insights with teachers to help empower them and support them in their creative practice. But actually, I realised that feeling like I was in the wrong room was also something that I experienced when I made that transition from secondary to primary. The reality is that we're not in the wrong room at all. We just need support and guidance and a community of people who understand what that transition feels like. If you watched my recent live video, you'll know that this project is part of a much bigger transition for me. At the end of this term, I'll be leaving my current role as the head of dance and drama at an independent primary school. I'll be returning to secondary teaching for 2 days a week, which is something I'm excited about, I think. But that leaves me with 3 days each week to explore other creative and professional opportunities. I'll be creating content, sharing practical lesson ideas, exploring curriculum development, and offering support to teachers who are making the transition from secondary to primary. Don't worry, the Wilderness of Creativity isn't going anywhere. This podcast remains my home for conversations about survival. But In the Wrong Room gives me a dedicated space to support educators in a much more focused and practical way. If that does sound like something you'd be interested in, I would love to hear from you. I'll pop all the details in the show notes. As always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your support and for being part of the wilderness. Until next time, stay wild. Welcome to In the Wrong Room, the podcast for drama and performing arts specialists making the leap from secondary into primary and EYFS settings. I'm your host Lucy, and after 12 years teaching drama and dance in secondary schools, I found myself stepping into a primary setting and wondering, how the hell do you introduce a learning objective to a group of preschool children when there's absolutely no point writing it on the board? If you have ever felt out of your depth, confused, or like you're having to learn how to teach all over again, this podcast is for you. We'll chat about why I made the leap and why you can do it too. We'll tackle lesson planning, questioning techniques, working with class teachers, teaching Shakespeare to Key Stage 1, live theatre reviews at Key Stage 2, and all those funny, unpredictable things children say that nobody prepares you for. Everything I share here comes from real-life classroom experiences, tried and tested, so you can walk into your lessons feeling more confident, more prepared, and more like you. So, if you've ever felt like you are in the wrong room, you're in exactly the right place. Stay tuned for the first episode of In the Wrong Room, coming soon.